We've done it. 3-0. Chicago has beat Atlanta. It was a good game. It was definitely worth the watch. During the first quarter, I'm like, oh, hell no. I don't want to watch this game. We're getting cooked. And then Vooch decided, the whole team just decided to turn up after the first quarter. We weren't making threes. We weren't getting to the free throw line. And we just gave up way too many turnovers. When Porzingis had 10 in the first quarter, I thought we were going to be in for a long night. Dyson Daniels was doing everything on the court, apart from scoring in the first quarter. He was getting rebounds, assists, steals. They were just forcing a lot of turnovers. A couple times, Jalen Johnson got to the rim real easy, and we didn't really have anyone to guard their bigs. Okongwu also was doing everything, 4 points and 4 rebounds in the first quarter. And we were struggling. We had 5 turnovers. 5 turnovers in the first quarter. It's not a good look, especially against a team that's young and athletic. They were doing what we should have been doing. They were getting after the ball, getting steals, which we did have 2 in the first quarter. Our bench is what kind of balanced the game for us because we weren't playing well. Our bench comes on. Huerta just has a great first quarter. He goes out to have 9 points. Our second quarter, this is where it turned around. This has been the exact same thing as the last 2 games that Chicago have played. We get a lead, and then we let them come back, and then we have to play a clutch game. Now, to be fair, all 3 teams we've played should have beat us. Detroit, people would say they're a better team than Chicago. Orlando, people would say they're a better team than Chicago. Atlanta, people would say they're a better team than Chicago. I don't think anyone has Chicago finishing higher than these 3 teams in the East at the end of the year. I still don't think we finish higher than these 3. We're having an amazing start, but who knows how long that goes for. I haven't looked at all of Atlanta's games. Stacey King did say on the broadcast that Trae Young is in a bit of a shooting slump. He came into the game averaging 20-ish points. He didn't look great scoring wise in the first half. We managed to bring it back. We go into the end of the first quarter down by 8. Then we go into halftime down by 1. Yeah, so we make up for it in the second quarter, managing to come back. And this is a whole team effort. Now, we did have a couple good performances. Nikola Vucevic nearly having a triple-double. Vuce had 17, 17, and 9. Two steals. I don't think anyone would have went into this game thinking he would I wouldn't say he outplayed Porzingis, but being able to secure rebounds was huge, which is what we needed. And Giddy having a big rebounding game, 18 points. Now, the whole team shot pretty efficiently, apart from the bench. Our whole team playing like this, it's a bit hard for defenses to focus in on an individual player because everybody's doing everything. Ayo was our top scorer. He played 26 minutes and he ended up being our top scorer. Again, another huge fourth quarter. Ayo has done that 2 games now against Orlando and against Atlanta. He's coming out ready to score. Today, 4 for 6 from the 3-point line. And we actually managed to get to the free throw line a bit. It did help. We were in the bonus. Trey Jones as well. I think he's leading the league in steals. When you're shooting guard, who essentially is height-wise playing the point guard role, or our shortest player on the court. Yeah, our shortest player on the court in the starting lineup, 6'1", because we got Josh Giddey, we got Okoro, we got Buzelis, we got Vucevic. It doesn't really matter that he's playing the shooting guard. He can hit threes. He's playing defense. The whole team is so tall. I think he manages to get into these passing lanes because people are worried about the other 4 players on the court. That he fits in a spot where the ball handler, the offensive player, doesn't see where he is. So he's getting a couple picks like that. Now, offensively, we right now we don't really have that. Like I said before, we don't have that one player, that one go-to player. You saw it in like 3 or 4 possessions in the fourth quarter where it was an extra pass to an extra pass to an extra pass to a shot clock violation or to a turnover, where there's one where Giddy passed it up to Trey Jones and then he passed it back to Giddy and then Giddy didn't get the shot off in time. And another one, somebody threw an interception. I don't remember who it was. We don't have that reliable offensive player right now. Vooch can do it in the post, and he did have a Kongwu on him, so it was a bit easier than having to deal with Porzingis. You can just throw the ball to Vooch in the post, and like I said in the last 2 games, he's gonna score, or he's gonna put pressure on the defense. Our go-to player has been Ayo Dosunmu, which isn't bad. He's making his shots. Like his form, to be fair, his shooting form doesn't look great, but who cares what it looks like? If it's going in, it's good. With this Atlanta game particularly, we don't really run a big outside of Vucevic. Jalen Smith only played 7 minutes. There were some minutes where there was no Vooch and no Jalen Smith, where you think we would struggle with that. There were a couple of plays where Okoro was guarding Porzingis, which he can force him to take a shot, but he really isn't contesting the shot. In the end, it did come down to a whole team effort. Trae Young, again, didn't shoot well. He had 21 points, but he shot 7 for 22. One shot worse than Paolo in the last game. I didn't even realize watching the game. He shot 1 for 10 from the 3-point line. It didn't feel that bad. Nikhil Alexander Walker felt like he was going to bring the game back in Atlanta's favor. So this whole fourth quarter, it looked like we're going to lose. Started off pretty bad. Jalen Smith gets a turnover, then a foul, and then a turnover. One or the other. It was either foul first or a turnover first. Which leads to him getting subbed off. We run our small lineup. They go up by 6. Thought it was over then. It was a Kongwu hitting a 3. Yeah, if a Kongwu's hitting 3s, you probably think you're going to lose. And then Dosunmu did the same thing he did in Orlando, where he comes on, makes a bunch of shots. Vooch was playing defense. I think most of the time you see Vooch playing defense, we are winning those games. Now, there was a challenge, or Porzingis is like telling the Chicago bench to challenge it. We do. We end up winning. It comes off his knee. So I don't know if he thought somebody touched it afterwards, but nobody did. So we ended up winning that challenge, getting the ball back. This is while we were up. I think it was like 4 or 6 with a minute left. A minute or 2. That definitely helped. If we didn't end up getting the ball there, it would have been under our basket. So Atlanta would have had another easy chance to score. But there's just another game where Chicago don't have that offensive threat. A couple times, Chicago were pass. It was a drive and dish until somebody was open. And they did it one too many times. And it ended up in a shot clock violation. I think another one ended up in a turnover. A bit frustrating. I think Chicago were never going to be a team where we win wire to wire. We don't really have the offensive power to outscore teams consistently. If we're winning any game right now, it's by committee. We had 8 players score double digits. I don't think we're ever going to... It might be a while till Chicago. Let me check this. So Vooch has been our highest scorer for the season in the individual game. I don't think we're going to have someone score 30 for a long time. I don't think Chicago is the team that's going to have someone just go out and score 30 and then we get a win. It's very much a team effort for us to win, which I think that's going to be an issue against the highest echelon of NBA teams. Yeah, Cleveland, Milwaukee, New York, Oklahoma. I think Spurs might be our worst. They might be our toughest matchup. I don't see anyone on this team guarding Wemby. Gonzalez or Okoro might be our best bet, but when we verse some of those teams that have an elite player, like MVP conversation, I think that's where we lose. We got Sacramento in 2 days. I think that's going to be a win. I think as good as Sabonis is, Vooch is a good matchup for him because Sabonis isn't a 3-point scorer, so Vooch can defend inside. I think Zach Levine and DeRozan, we saw it here in Chicago. I don't think it works. It's going to be interesting to see how the season progresses with them. Adding Westbrook. Westbrook actually had a pretty good game last game. If I remember correctly. That was our look at the Atlanta game. Look forward to seeing you against the Kings. I've been Dogmatic and I'm out.